what's going on, everybody? Hoover186 back again with another video. I guess I might as well talk about this. So yesterday, there was a tweet from the account Player Unknown Battleground. I think they have two Twitter accounts, but they had a tweet, and then there's also an article that surfaced from someone from Blue Hole Games. I believe that's the name of the company, talking about PUBG and on the Xbox One X, and saying that the game would be 60 frames per second on the One X, and then when a lot of people, myself included, asked about the One S, the article that was from Engadget, I'll have the link in the description below. They said that the game was they said that they may have to target it at 30 on the OG Xbox and the One S, and but they said that the game was running between 30 and 40, and they also said that the game was going to be they were still trying to aim 60 for the One S also. So that's what they said. And obviously this set Twitter ablaze as usual. Xbox people going at Xbox people. You got PlayStation gamers trolling Xbox dudes, and all the other stuff. The typical. Now, what's come out today is that the same account, which had the tweet saying that the game was gonna. That I believe that the tweet said that the game was gonna run at 60. The tweet was deleted, and now the tweet said that the game was gonna run at 30 on all platforms, on all Xbox One platforms. Now, to me, like as a One S owner, is this good news? The answer is no. And I'll tell you why. The reason why it's not good news is because nobody wanted this game to be 30 FPS. I think most Xbox One S owners wanted the game to be 60, but they wanted the game to be 60 on their platform, right? Like obviously the One X with the power and all that other stuff. Like there's no doubt in my mind that that game could run that that machine could run the game at 60. I mean, hell, the One S should be able to run that game at 60. The game is not that good looking. The game is not a graphical powerhouse, in my opinion. So, in my opinion, the game should be 60. Should be at 60 FPS. But they decided that they didn't want to, I guess they didn't want to give, Xbox One S owners a GIMP version. And like I said, as a One S owner, why should I get a GIMP version? Because I didn't want to upgrade. And people can bring up, they bring up PC gaming. And let me say this about PC gaming. Like, by and large, PC gamers, they can dictate how their games run and look on their platform. By and large, you know what I mean? They can do all this stuff when it comes to, you have PC gamers who have beast rigs who will lower settings just to get a higher frame rate. You can't do that on these consoles. You can't do that, and that's the biggest difference. People can bring a PC and be, oh well, they have to worry about people playing on higher frame rates and stuff like that. Yeah, because at the end of the day, they can dictate that. They can do that. For us, for console peasants like me and you, we don't have that. For the most part, you don't have that same type of freedom. You don't. So we are beholden to the developer to make the game as best they can on these consoles. And I understand that console gaming now and PC gaming has become more and more similar over the years. But at the end of the day, that's the biggest difference. They get to, and I will always, in my opinion, unless these consoles become PCs in period, that will always be the difference. They get to dictate how their games run and look and all the other stuff. We don't have that freedom. At least not to the extent of what they get on the PC. So yeah, it's not the same thing. It's not the same. And people also bring up, these advantages on console, like mouse and keyboard, like scuff controllers, input lag on TVs and stuff like that. Look, there's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing that I can do about that. And if the developers aren't, there's nothing I don't think the developers can do about that outside of cheating and shit like that. There's nothing you can do about that. The only thing that we can that we have at least some semblance of control over is pretty much how we want the devs to make the game. And if we want the game to be, if we want our version of the game to not be gimped, I mean, that's how it is. You know, what I mean, a lot of the same dudes now who own Xbox One X's were sitting there whining, bitching, and complaining to devs that they were getting the inferior version of games compared to the PS4. And now all of a sudden, now that they have the most powerful console, they can sit there and thumb their nose down on everybody else. Like, come on, fuck out of here with that bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I understand. Look, when it comes to the One X, I have no problem with with people owning the One X. You know, I don't have a problem with those people. I don't have any problem with them. I'm happy that they got the console that they wanted. I'm happy for them. The thing is that I don't want my version of the game. I don't want to be punished for not upgrading. You know what I mean? If they get the extra, if they get the extra 4K textures and they get the bump in resolution, that's perfectly fine. I understand that. Hell, even if the game, I mean, part of the problem with the frame rate issue for PUBG is that it's an online only game. It's an online only game. It's a very highly competitive online game. So obviously, when you give One X owners an advantage, no matter if it's slight or great, because obviously because the game is not as fast paced as a Call of Duty or Battlefield or whatnot. It's a very slow paced game, at least the way that they want to play it. Like, I understand that the game is not may not be as dependent, but it's still a disadvantage. And most people they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with that, and I don't blame them for not wanting to deal with that. At the end of the day, they want their game to run well on their console. You know what I mean? They don't want to deal with getting you having a disadvantage because they didn't upgrade. You know what I mean? For me, I bought the One S a year ago. I wasn't gonna wait an extra year to buy an X when I can just buy the S right there, and I'm happy with my S. You know what I mean? I like the console. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel the need to upgrade. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is. And that doesn't mean that I don't want my game to run well on the system. You know what I mean? It don't mean that. Yeah, I want the game to run. Yeah, I want the game to run. Like again, nobody wanted this game to be 30 FPS. I think most of us wanted the game to be 60 FPS, but we also wanted the game. We also didn't want to be. We also didn't want the GIMP version of the game because we didn't want to upgrade. You know what I mean? Like, it's not hard to fathom. It's not hard to fathom. You know what I mean? This is not a knock on the One X. Like, you obviously gonna have some people out there be like, oh, well, look at the Xbox One S, can't run games at 60 and all that other shit. Like, that's not, clearly it's not true. You know what I mean? Based on the comment that the PUBG people Twitter account said it, clearly it's not true. And if anything, I'm not even blaming. Xbox One S owners shouldn't be blamed for this. It should be the blame goes to that Twitter account for getting people's hopes up with the game being 60. That's on them. That's their fault. It shouldn't be on. It shouldn't be the fault of the Xbox One S owners, and hell, it shouldn't even be the fault of the fucking PlayStation trolls. Like, this is all on PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, on that Twitter account for getting people's hopes up. That's on them. That's on nobody else. That's on them. So, pretty much, I mean, that's pretty much it for the video. But just to reiterate, clearly everybody, look, for me, I was gonna buy the game regardless, right? Like, that didn't buy, like, the game being 30 FPS. I was gonna buy the game regardless. But I also didn't. It's also something that I didn't want to feel like my purchase was gimped because of the hardware that I'm playing it on. Like I said, if you want the 4K textures, hell, even if the game was single player and it ran at a higher resolution, higher frame rate on the X than it did on the S, I would be okay with that as long as the game was stable. But at the end of the day, like, when it comes to this game, it's an online multiplayer game. It's a very highly competitive online multiplayer game. Like, yeah, we want the game to run at 60 at the very least. You can keep the 4K textures, you can keep the higher resolutions, you can keep all that. As long as the game ran at 60 for both. Hell, even if it's more stable on the X than it is on the S, that's fine too. As long as the game ran at 60 on the S, I would have been okay with that. And it sucks that the game is now going to be 30, but I mean that's the reality of the situation. You know, people like with Destiny, they deal with the same thing. More than likely, the game could run at 60 FPS on the X and probably even on the Pro also. But at the end of the day, like they decided to make the game 30 so that they can keep the version. When you have people on the Pro and the X, on the Pro playing people on the PS4, and people on the X playing people on the OG Xbox and One S. Yeah, they kind of have to make the game. They have to, at the very least, at the ground level, make the playing field level. At the very least, the one thing that they can control, make the game level on the level playing field. It is what it is. It sucks, but that Xbox One S owners should be blamed here. Like it doesn't. To me, it don't make any sense. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for the video, man. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I would be very interested to hear what you guys have to say about this. I am out, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Later.